He sold it, just sold it. The house we grew up in. Without a call. Without even a text. I found out through a Facebook post. A stranger standing in front of our porch smiling with a "just bought our forever home" caption. I thought it was a mistake at first. Maybe I was dreaming. Perhaps the algorithm was playing tricks on me. But I stared at that peeling blue paint behind them. That crooked mailbox we kept meaning to fix. The wind chimes Mom bought from that flea market in '03. They were still hanging, even in the photo. I refreshed the post. Checked the name, no mistake, just betrayal. My chest didn't cave in all at once. It was slow, like the sound of snow, melting from a roof, drip by drip, memory by memory, sliding off and breaking into pieces. He didn't just sell a house, he sold a dream. He erased a map of my childhood. He gutted a museum of my mother's laughter and my father's silence. My voice screaming through hallways when I didn't know how to be anything but loud and young and invincible. We weren't even fighting. That's the part one keep choking on. There was no falling out, no ugly blow up, just space. And I thought space meant time, not permission. I called him 30 times, no answer. Just a voicemail that still said, "Hey, it's Jake, leave one if it matters. If it matters, God." I left one. A voice message that cracked halfway through because I didn't even know what I was begging for. An explanation, a rewind button, a lie that made it better. He never called back. And when he finally did reply, it was a text. 2 lines, "Didn't think you care. You never come back anyway." It was falling apart. Falling apart. I guess in his mind, that house died the day we buried our mother. But to me, it was still warm, still echoing. You don't just sell memories. You don't put a price on the creak in the stairs, the smell of cinnamon in October, or the hollow in the wall behind the closet where we hid our Halloween candy. You don't get to say it's just a building when you know it raised us. When you know it's the last place we were a family. Why didn't he tell me? Was it spite? Or did he honestly think I wouldn't care? Is that what I became to him, just someone to cross off the list? A ghost that didn't haunt him enough? Maybe this is my fault, too. I moved away, got busy. I missed birthdays. I didn't show up for Christmas. Maybe he thought I'd already left for good. Maybe I had. But is that reason enough to sell my entire childhood? Without a word? I still don't know if I'm grieving a house, or the fact that I no longer know who my brother is, or if he ever really knew me at all. You know, it wasn't always like this. I didn't always feel like a stranger to him. There was a time, God, it feels like a lifetime ago, when that house felt like the center of everything. Like, no matter how bad things got out there, we could always come back to ourselves. It was small, yeah. The floors creaked. The heater made weird noises in the winter. And every spring, without fail, the basement flooded just enough to ruin whatever we stupidly stored down there. But it was home. Our bedrooms were across the hall from each other. Jake used to bang on my door every Saturday morning yelling cartoons, like it was some sacred ritual. And I'd groan and pretend to be annoyed, but I always got up. We'd make toast, fight over the last of the cereal, then sprawl out on the living room rug and lose hours in those dumb shows. He'd quote the characters word for word. I'd try to imitate the voices. We'd laugh so loud Mom would have to yell from upstairs, "Can you please keep it down?" But she'd always be smiling when she said it. Like she didn't mean it. Like she was just happy we were happy. I remember birthdays in that house, the handmade banners, the uneven cakes, the off-key singing. Jake always went to hard with the candles, like every year. Without fail, he'd smush extra ones in and say, "You're older than you think." I'd roll my eyes, but I loved it. I think part of me needed him to do that, to remind me we were still kids, still siblings, still okay. Even when we started growing apart a little, like in high school, when he got quiet and I got loud. When I started locking my door more and he started disappearing into music and his headphones. There was still this unspoken thing between us. Like, we could always find our way back. He taught me how to ride a bike in the driveway. I taught him how to lie to Mom without getting caught. We built a fort once in the backyard that we swore we'd live in if things ever got bad. It collapsed in the rain after 2 weeks, but it didn't matter because we built it together. There was this one night, Dad had come home drunk again. Jake must have been, I don't know, 13. He pulled me into his room and locked the door. Didn't say a word, just turned on his lamp, handed me a comic book, and climbed into bed. We didn't talk about it. We just stayed there. The silence between us wasn't heavy, it was protective. Like we were shielding each other with it. I used to think, no matter where we ended up, we'd always have that That quiet language, that invisible thread. Like siblings who'd seen the same storm and come out holding the same pieces. But I guess time doesn't care about any of that. It just stretches things, blurs them. Until the same person who used to hold your hand under the dinner table, when Dad yelled, "It is the one who sells your childhood out from under you." I keep thinking if I'd just visited more, if I'd called more, if I hadn't been so quick to leave after the funeral, would any of this be different? Did I let it all fade? Or did he? Maybe we both did. Maybe that's what hurts the most. I wish I could tell you there was some big, cinematic fight, something loud and final, like screaming in the rain or slamming doors. But there wasn't. It was quiet. The quiet, maybe. And that's how things started falling apart so softly. I didn't even notice it was after Mom died. That's the moment everything started bending the wrong way. But I didn't see it then. I was too wrapped up in my grief, drowning in it, honestly. I flew back for the funeral, said the right things, hugged the right people, but I was already halfway out the door in my head. I remember standing in the kitchen a few days after the service, staring at the sink full of dishes. Jake was sitting at the table, just blank, eyes red, arms crossed like he was holding himself together with his elbows. I asked him if he was okay, and he said, "Yeah, you don't have to stay if you don't want to." I laughed, like it was a joke, but he didn't smile. He just looked through me, and I didn't push. That's the part that eats at me. I didn't push. I left 2 days later, told him I'd come back soon, that we'd figure it all out. The mortgage, the estate, the endless mess Mom left behind because she never planned to die. I told him we'd do it together. He just nodded, didn't say much. I think he hugged me at the airport. But honestly, I don't even remember if we touched. I do remember looking back at him before walking into security, waiting for him to wave or something. But he just stood there. And I told myself, he's grieving, he'll come around. But I never went back. Weeks turned into months. Calls turned into texts. Texts turned into nothing. And then, there was that message. The one. That shifted everything, even if it didn't seem like it at the time. It was short. One sentence. He wrote, "Have you ever thought about just selling the house?" And without thinking, without even pausing, I replied, "Honestly, yeah. It's too much to hold on to." I meant the grief. The weight. I didn't mean the house. But that's not how he read it. He didn't respond after that. No follow-up. No let's talk more. Just silence. And me? I forgot I even said it. I buried myself in work, in some half-dead relationship I was trying to keep alive. And I told myself he'd reach out if it mattered. I told myself he knew what I meant. But the truth is I wasn't thinking of him. I was thinking of escaping. And that one message, those few careless words, they permitted him. They made him believe I didn't care. And maybe, in that moment, I didn't. Not because I stopped loving that place, but because I didn't have the strength to love it through. The pain, grief is a funny thing. It doesn't always make you cry. Sometimes it makes you numb, cold, detached. And I think he needed me to fight for it for her. And I didn't. I let him carry it all, alone. I keep replaying it. That message. Honestly, yeah. Like I was tossing away a memory. Like it didn't cost him anything to hold it all by himself. But it did. And in the end, he sold the house. And I'm the one who handed him the match. After that, things just went quiet. I didn't realize what was happening, not at first. It was like waking up after a long nap and realizing the house feels colder. Like someone opened all the windows and let the warmth slip out. Jake stopped texting altogether, and I didn't chase him. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how to fix something I couldn't name. It felt like there was this invisible crack between us, and I kept stepping around it, thinking, if I just give it time, it'll seal itself. But that's not how cracks work. I remember one day, a random Tuesday afternoon, I finally worked up the courage to call him. It rang 3 times, then went to voicemail. Some old recording. "Hey, it's Jake, leave 1 if it matters." I didn't leave 1, because in that moment, I wasn't even sure I mattered to him anymore. It's strange how silence can hurt more than shouting. At least yelling means someone still cares enough to raise their voice. But silence? It's like being erased in real time. And then came the photo. That stupid, sunny, happy photo on Facebook, to people I'd never met, standing on our front steps, holding keys, smiling like they'd won the lottery. My stomach dropped. Not in a metaphorical way, I mean physically. I had to sit down. My hands were shaking so badly that I almost dropped my phone. I zoomed in like a psycho, scanning every inch. The porch light was still broken. The cracks in the driveway were still there. But we weren't. I stared at the photo for hours, just spiraling. And then I did something pathetic. I drove to the house. For hours on the road with no plan, no explanation. I parked across the street like some creep, didn't get out, just watched. They'd already changed the curtains, put up some modern, soulless thing where Mom used to hang those heavy maroon ones. That never matched anything. The wind chimes were gone, so was the bench Jake and I built with Dad, replaced by a generic patio set. I don't know what I was hoping for. That maybe I'd walk up, knock on the door, and they'd say, "Oh, sorry, we just bought this, but if you need anything," as if I had the right, as if I could undo what had already been done. And Jake still silent, no apology, no explanation, just absence. Even the photos stopped. He used to post music, random stuff he'd always been kind of private, but now, it was like he vanished. I think that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about the house. This was about him letting go of me. I went back home, my new home, my not really home, and everything felt too clean, too untouched by memory. I kept reaching for things that weren't there. That creaky step near the kitchen, the buzz of our old fridge, the way Mom's perfume used to linger in the hallway, gone. And inside me, this ache settled in. Not sharp, not loud, just constant, like a song you can't turn off, like a shadow that follows you into sleep. I wanted to scream, to call him and say, "How could you? How could you just erase all of it?" But then I remembered my own words. Honestly, yeah, I said it. I gave him that door, and now I can't close it. It's strange how grief doesn't knock. It just slips in quietly, sits beside you while you're folding laundry or brushing your teeth. And suddenly, your chest tightens, your throat burns, and there's no warning, just pain. Raw, stupid, aching pain. For weeks after I found out, I couldn't focus. I'd wake up thinking about that hallway light Jake used to leave on because I was scared of the dark. I'd drift off at night, wondering if he even hesitated before signing the papers. Was he sad? Was he relieved? Did he cry after? Or just hand over the keys and walk away like it meant nothing? God, I hate how much I've replayed it all in my head. Over and over and over. Like if I picture it enough, I can rewrite it. Like maybe in some alternate timeline, he'd just call me before he sells it. Maybe I'll fly back. Maybe we should stand in the living room one last time. Maybe we cry together. Maybe we don't end up here. But we are here. And all I do now is live in the what ifs. What if I had stayed longer after the funeral? What if I'd answered his grief with presence, not distance? What if I had said, "Let's fix it. Let's keep it. It's home." Would he have held on? I don't know how to stop blaming myself. I mean, he didn't even tell me. That should make me angry, right? But all I feel is guilt. Like I pushed him into a corner with my silence. Like I was too wrapped up in my escape to notice he was drowning. He always carried more than he let on. I see that now. He was the one who stayed after Dad left. He was the one who took Mom to her appointments when I couldn't get away from work. He cleaned up the blood after her nosebleeds, held her hand during chemo, held me together when I couldn't even look her in the eye those last weeks. And then he held the house until he couldn't. Sometimes I wonder if he sold it not because he didn't care, but because I didn't. At least, that's how it must have looked to him. That thought won't leave me. It keeps me up at night. It follows me into grocery stores, into elevators, into moments that shouldn't belong to grief, but do anyway. I dream about the house now, more than I ever did when it was ours. Dreams where I'm wandering the halls and everything's in slow motion. I open doors, but they lead to rooms that never existed. I call out for Jake, but he doesn't answer. I wake up with tears on my face and my arms reaching for something that isn't there. What is that? What is that emptiness? It's not just the house, it's him. It's the version of us that used to laugh in the basement and argue over the last waffle. It's the silence where our bond used to be. I want to tell him I'm sorry, but sorry feels too small, too late, too hollow. I want to ask him, did you think of me when you signed the deed? Did you pause at the front door? Did your hand tremble? Did it hurt, even a little? Or am I the only one haunted? I kept thinking there'd be a moment, some kind of breaking point, where one of us would reach out, say something, try to mend what cracked between us. But it never came. Weeks passed, then months. The silence hardened, and somewhere along the way it stopped being silence and became something worse, acceptance. I finally messaged him. One night after too many drinks, too many memories clawing at the back of my throat, I typed out something raw, honest. It wasn't polished. It wasn't calm, it was just real. You could have told me. You should have told me. I didn't mean for you to carry it all alone. I wasn't trying to leave you behind. I was just broken. I still am. I hit send. Watch the little check mark appear. No reply. Days went by. Nothing. No read receipt. No dots. Just that cold, blue message hanging in the void between us. That's when it sunk in. This whatever this is, it's not a pause. It's an ending. Not loud. Not final, but slow, like watching the tide erase footprints you thought would last longer. I've tried to fill the space he left. With work. With noise. With people who smile and mean well, but don't know. They don't know what it's like to lose someone who's still breathing. To feel homesick for a house that doesn't belong to you anymore. And it doesn't. That home, that version of my life, it's gone. New people live there now. They'll repaint the walls. Maybe rip out the carpet. They'll never know about the tally marks Jake and I carved into the inside of the closet. They'll never know how Mom used to hum when she cooked. They'll never hear the floor groan in just the right way when you step near the kitchen at 2 a.m. They'll make new memories. And I'll carry the ghost. I drive by sometimes. Not often, just enough to keep the wound open. I sit in my car across the street, engine off, pretending I'm somewhere else. Sometimes the lights are on inside, and I wonder if the new owners feel it too. The weight in the walls, the stories are baked into the foundation, the invisible things we left behind. I don't know where Jake is now. Physically, maybe he's still in town, but spiritually, emotionally, he's further than he's ever been. And I don't know if he'll ever come back. We were siblings, best friends once, but we let silence grow wild between us. And now, it's a forest. I want to believe we'll find our way out, that one day, I'll get a call and his voice will crack just enough for me to know he missed me too. That maybe, just maybe, he's haunted by the same echoes, but hope feels dangerous now. Hope hurts, because I've hoped before, and all it did was rot in my chest. So I sit with the ache, not trying to fix it anymore, just letting it live. Letting it remind me of what we had and what we lost. It's been 3 years, 3 birthdays, 3 sets of holidays I didn't go home for because there's no home to go back to anymore. Time doesn't heal everything. Whoever said that, they didn't lose someone this way. They didn't watch something sacred get sold off like it never meant a thing. The funny part, I still catch myself reaching for my phone to tell Jake something. A dumb joke, a memory, a song we used to sing in the car when we were kids. And then it hits me. We don't talk anymore. We haven't in years. Not because of some explosion, but because we both slowly stopped holding the rope. And now the line's just slack. I ran into him once, not long ago. It was a grocery store. All 4. He was picking up cereal. I almost walked right past him. He looked older, heavier in the eyes, like time didn't just pass, it dragged. And when he turned and saw me, there was this flicker, like maybe something cracked open for a second. But he just nodded, a nod, and walked past. Not a word, not even a hey. And me? I just stood there, frozen in front of a shelf of canned beans, feeling like a child again. Like the one who used to follow him around in the backyard, begging to play. Only this time, he didn't turn back. That night, I cried. Harder than I did when I saw that damn photo of the new owners. Because that moment in aisle 4 was the real ending. That's when I knew he wasn't coming back. Not to me. Not to the house. Not to us. So now, I carry it quietly. The grief, the guilt, the wondering. I've tried to move forward. I bought my place. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. The walls are still bare, mostly. I don't hang photos anymore. Not because I don't have any, but because every time I try to choose one, I remember what's missing from the frame. And the house, the one he sold. Sometimes I drive past it. Not often, but enough. The porch is painted now. The mailbox is new. The wind chimes are gone, of course, but sometimes, just for a second, I swear I can still hear them. Faint, like a memory trying not to be forgotten. I wonder if Jake ever drives by. If he ever stops and thinks, maybe I should have told her. Maybe I should have let her say goodbye. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe forgetting was easier for him. But me? I remember everything. Every inch of that house, every scar on the banister, every laugh, every fight, every unspoken thing between us. And I still miss him. Not just like my brother, but as the last person who remembered it all with me. The only other witness to the small, sacred things that made that place more than wood and brick. I don't know if we'll ever speak again. I don't know if we'd even know how. But if somehow he's hearing this, Jake, I wish you'd just said goodbye, because I wasn't ready. And maybe I never will be.